I think that Putin's message uh, was meant for both audiences, the Western audience as well as India. But I don't think it's a surprising message, and I don't think either the Indian or the U.S. or Western side would be surprised. I mean, this is essentially President Putin reiterating a longstanding policy, right? And that's that Russia has been willing to provide cheap oil, cheap energy to India for quite some time. It is significant in the sense that it comes at a moment when I would argue that India is facing perhaps unprecedented levels of pressure from the West to scale back, and the fact that you have new sanctions on several key Russian energy firms that went into effect just a few weeks ago, that means it's a bit of a new ball game, so to speak, and that India really has to be very careful about how it engages with Russia on energy cooperation, at least for the immediate term. Keeping in mind here that this is all because of the war in Ukraine, right? I mean, if there were not a war in Ukraine, if President Putin were to agree to the peace process that President Trump badly wants him to buy into, then we would not be talking about all this pressure coming from the West, certainly not from Trump, who I would argue actually has a fairly moderate view of Russia. He's professed his admiration for Putin in the past. So this is something that will be a challenge for India only so long as the war continues. Unfortunately, the war could continue for some time. But bottom line, the way I see it, you know, India, I don't think India certainly welcomed this message, but I don't think it was surprised from it. Whereas in the U.S. and the West, also no surprise. I think that it would certainly intensify the unhappiness that you have in the West about just how much Russia and India have been willing to work together when it comes to energy cooperation.